Thank you, Honorable Chairman. I'm really grateful that you have allowed me to be part of the panel. Thank you, Nazir Saab. It was an eye-opener for me because living in Lahore for most part of my life, it was even difficult for me to dig out the truth about the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir and our connection with that area, and all the myths and the lies that have been created in Pakistan by the Pakistani agencies about the state, about Pakistan and India's role in how the issue of Jammu and Kashmir has evolved. And even though I'm a state subject, I will just confine myself to the land of Gilgit, Baltistan. A lot has been said here about Jammu and Kashmir, and Mr. Khan himself, he said a lot about Gilgit, Baltistan. When we talk about the electoral process, then in my opinion, I think it starts from 2009 when an ordinance was signed by President Zardari, and there was some sort of a semblance of democratic rights that were given to Gilgit-Baltistan. Before that, it was, Gilgit-Baltistan has always been ruled by ordinances and LFOs, but this time I think there was some, hope among the local people. Then they would be able to give them the autonomy. And Pervez Musharraf, when he was there as the president, he promised a lot of packages as well. LFO was signed, and elections were, taken place in 2009, and an assembly came into being. And I think it was a very good point that Mr. Ali Adalat raised, that state subject rule was violated, and all these Pakistanis were allowed to come and live and settle in Gilgit-Baltistan, and they become the voters. And if the Pakistanis are casting their vote to elect the people representatives for Gilgit-Baltistan, then that in itself is a huge rigging, because it's not the people. If you go to Gilgit is predominantly Pakistani now, and I'm sure that very soon, maybe in the next 5 to 10 years, Skardu will also become Pakistani cities, so that was the aspect of rigging that I think even the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan did not bring out. And they talked about a lot of other issues like gun culture and vote rigging and what People's Party had done. But I think this issue that deals with the constitutional aspect of the state, so I think that is very important, that I felt it should be brought forward. And two and a half years past, we have seen that this package has failed to provide anything for the local people. The purpose, the objective that was sort of like declared by Pakistan to empower the local people has not been fulfilled. The Law Minister Wazir Shakil himself, in newspapers so many times that their hands are tied. They cannot do anything. And the person who was involved in creating this ordinance, Afzal Shikri, who is the former Inspector General of Sindh from my valley, he said that this package, this ordinance, can be abolished by a section officer in Islamabad, who is a 17 scale officer, the lowest grade in a management group, but cannot be touched, amended, or even discussed by the people sitting in the Legislative Assembly in Gilgit, or the Chief Minister himself. And in the last 2.5 years, we have seen that the Chief Minister has been answerable to Islamabad because he was picked by Prime Minister and President of Pakistan. The cabinet members have been picked by Asif Ali Zardari. All the decisions are being made by Asif Ali Zardari. So basically they have no incentive to be answerable to their own people who elect them. So I think this package has failed in so many ways. Gilgit-Baltistan Council has been created, and I think I don't want to repeat what Mr. Khan said, which basically deals with all the resources. So if you want to talk about the empowerment of people, empowerment comes with money and resources and financial stability. And if you give all the decisions over the resources and policy making over the resources, uranium, gold, copper, forest, our rivers, glaciers, transit routes, Karakoram Highway, the income over the Karakoram Highway, over the custom checkpost, all of that, if you give the decision, an absolute decision to Islamabad, then there's no purpose in having an ordinance where the people go and cast vote, and then they have to just wait for the next 4 years to feel that they have some sort of a right in decision making. But that's about it, just casting their vote. And And my question, I think, what the people in Gilgit-Baltistan are saying that if we do not have any constitutional cover, then any packages or any LFOs ordinances signed by these authorities in Islamabad will be ad hoc. They will not give that authority to the local people, which they deserve or they expect. So if there is no constitutional cover, and I don't think that in the given situation, the way Pakistan is going through, the way it is evolving, it is a failed state. We don't have to say a lot about that. Pakistan cannot really afford to even discuss on amendments in Constitution on Jammu and Kashmir. It will be a matter of life and death for Pakistan if they really want to extend that constitutional cover for AJK or POK, whatever you want to call it, and Gilgit-Baltistan. So if Pakistan cannot really afford to give us the constitutional cover, and we know that this package that we have, or any other ordinances that will be ad hoc and signed by President, Prime Minister, cannot solve our problems, then can we have our own constitution? Or can we have some sort of, benefits that could be extended from POK's constitution? And even if not that, then there's something that already exists, and that's India's constitution. India, by constitution, claims Gilgit-Baltistan, or every inch of the princely state, to be its integral part. So basically, India's constitution provides us that umbrella, that protection, that cover that Pakistan has denied so far. So I think this is something that we need to discuss in future, since the political situation in the world is evolving so fast that if Pakistan has no will or the capacity, then if there's something already exists, and that's called the protection under India's constitution, can that be extended to Gilgit-Baltistan? If we cannot have any benefits from AJK constitution, then there should be some sort of a constitutional cover provided to us. Otherwise, local people will have no recourse or decision-making power in their hand. So I think now we are discussing things very openly, given the situation in Gilgit-Baltistan, and given the platforms that we get. And opening line of control is a very important issue for us. Trade and travel across line of control, important issue for us. Some sort of reunion of Gilgit-Baltistan with Ladakh is really important for us. But I think those should come with constitutional guarantees. So I would wrap up here with maybe some sort of answers we can get from Gilani Saab and other experts sitting here, that what is the solution for Gilgit-Baltistan? How long Pakistan can govern Gilgit-Baltistan the way it is doing? And if Pakistan has no will or the capacity to eventually extend its constitution, then at least can we have any alternatives? Either AJK constitution, Gilgit-Baltistan's own constitution, or extending Indian constitution to Gilgit-Baltistan. Thank you so much.